Hello and welcome. It is the 23rd of April, 9:52 p.m. Eastern. As of the recording of this video, my name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades and amongst alike, each his own risk, of course, their own reward. A few things that I want to go over. And I think starting off with NT fuel against BTC might be an interesting way of doing it or cover a lot of different things. So many different things. First off, the session on April the 23rd. A monstrous outside day and a lot of coins sharing this volatility, having the tops and bottoms pretty much around the same time and the looks alike amongst a lot of coins. But Theta Fuel has a high of 615 and or had that of a high of 615 and a low of 340 on the session. Differential is 275 basis points on 340, so that's like 75-80% volatility on just that day. For at first it reached lows it had not seen since March the 9th. 5 week lows. And then thereafter it makes highs not seen in 7 day highs. Which is extremely difficult to do. To make 7 day highs after having a very big short term capitulation move. But it did. And within the session we can see in here how it broke down and then recovered, and then just this interesting here coming up to 600, pulling back, and since then the volatility has shrunken a little bit, stabilizing with support at around 500, but below it, and really resistance near 536, only about 6-7%, which is this little up and down range in here. We look at this even on the 5 minute term. The move is just wild. As we can see in here, it was like 20 hours, 40 minutes, basically close to 2100 hours, 9 p.m. And the price is 477, and then at 10:20, it goes down. But just in this 5 minute period alone, it was up 10% after it was down 14% the previous period. So monster volatility, to say the least. And a lot of things to go over within this chart. This resistance level of about 749 most certainly that I put in has kind of worked out, having resistance on multiple occasions. I was fortunate enough to be able to sell pretty much pretty much at the top, because it was barely over 1,000 satoshi, because I got better than basically I got better than 1,000 satoshi back with the trade. So with rake like 1,003, 1,004 I might have got, which meant I'm waiting for greater than a 50% decline to get back in. The play is to take half of what you put in, and you'll barely get back more than what you sold. And that's exactly what happened yesterday, as when the price action was what would have been in on the way down, one of these hours on the way down. It was when it was in here around 420ish or so area. It was stabilizing for a while before the next wave lower. So I took again half of the Bitcoin that I got for the last one, and I ended up getting a okay amount. It's barely over 10% more back. Noticeably more than 10% back more than what I got. And then again, if it keeps going down again, so if it goes down to like in here, like 200 and change maybe, 200. Well, now I'll give you a much better deal. I'd probably take of what I got back, most of it, 3/4, and then I'll get a good return back. And that's of course if it manages to go to it. So a lot of things to go for what price has done is managed to go right down to the 18 average of lows, and has rallied up near the highs. So major correctionary move, and it was due for such at some point. And like these markets, when they have big moves up, they're going to have decent sized moves down. So one of two things: if it doesn't have any new sideways consolidation, is it can start to break out of this, and then we got the low, and who knows how big this thing go, because it got greatly overextended, got to a greatly overextended high of 1,000, and well, if it breaks that, we'll see. And there still could be further down correctionary move for coming back to where we came from. And that's another thing that I want to just show with these previous lines is before the market had this nice little move where it was consolidating and making a nice higher low near 50. and major consolidation near that 100 number. And then when it broke it, did it ever go? So that just shows you what kind of fantastic move this one had, and a lot what a lot of other cryptocurrencies have had, and what other ones will continue to have moving in the future. And now let's take a look at Bitcoin multiple term or multiple term timeframes, which still overextended above the 18 average of highs, period number 6. It's the first red one down, and it's the monthly period still a week to go, down 15%. So it's no lock, no guarantee to end in a down month, although it's now favored to. But even still, well above the 18. So what hasn't done is anywhere come close to officially touching this line. But at the same point, what also has not done is show any major parabolic breakouts to the upside with like big green candle up, monster volume. None of that type of stuff has been going down. Or another way of putting it is the uptrend line that connects all these highs has not been broken either, of a decent but not monstrous rate of ascent. Amongst the weekly, what's mostly now a time correction. It has managed to meet up within this 18, and this is the first time it's been in it since it left it from that 11, 12,000 level. So it could do a lot of different things. Continuation, sideways consolidation. Who knows if support will continue to be established at this smaller, tight range at 43, or if it would proceed lower. Previous support has came in at 30,000. And if it breaks any of these shorter term levels of support, then we're going to be talking about testing those levels. And then as far as breaking to the upside, yeah, getting above this resistance would be great, but we need to see again in the shorter term first if any evidence or clues within these two red candles down that this more shorter term downtrend is going to come to an end. Because amongst the daily term, there has only been one green candle amongst the previous 8. And this one is off to a bad start, or down 2.7% to start with the ninth one here. So on April the 16th, down 2.8, then 2.2, then 6 and a quarter, down 1, up 1.5, then down 4.7, down about 1 after, down about 4 again, 1 after that, and so far down 2.7. Seeing price action go from 65 down to 50, so it's lost 15,000. It's about 25% net decline, which is, when you look at it from this perspective, meh, whatever. Just a little bit of small moves. 4-hour term time frame. There was a decent amount of consolidation in here, and then leg lower, and now it's having a correctionary move. We need to see on the short term price action to first flatten out the 18. You can see it didn't do it here, and then 2, after it flattens out, to establish some sort of up move, and it can do it all at one time, but it didn't do it here, where it just gets, well, it's got to get above the 18 average of highs, and never did that here. If it gets noticeably above the 18 average of highs, that in itself is an instant flattener. Okay, so that's doing a combination of two things: one, flattening out or neutralizing the situation from on a downtrend, but also at the same time attempting to move and make an uptrend. And yeah, it's been, you can see a big downtrend going on, and starting to see how short term from this low to this high starting to leave. You can see, does the hourly give us any sentiment to this? Well, what I see in this, what I see on a short term mode, made this high on the 16-hour session, then a higher, that was a higher high to this one, and then it's successfully making a higher low, coming back to where we came from. But this high was only a matching one, and then it's been followed through with a decent sized red candle breaking down this shorter term level. Thus now you can start taking about retracement from this low to this high. Not going to calculate it, but you can see it a bit more clearly here on the 15-minute time frame. That it looks to me, yeah, probably we will come down to this little level here. So short term, there's just no evidence that the selling for this market is over. And overall, within the cryptocurrency market, there's just going to be some major volatility to come in along the way. That is a natural given, I would think. And yeah, to me, it's just very difficult for me to see, okay, this is going to be a start of a decent sized retracement of so many price levels lower, like 10%, 20, 30%, whatever, so many days, weeks, or if this is a very short-term correction that has been already been a bull market, a continuation of such. Because oftentimes before a big move, you're going to be getting a failed play just before it happens. And I'm going to go back to altcoins, and I started with Theta Field. I'm going to go to Theta itself now. And one thing I was asked about my opinions on Theta, just really doing, at least before this, just doing really nothing. And technically speaking, if it stays in this range of like 18,000 mid change to about 23 or 24, it'll continue not doing much in the sideways consolidation because this is just going to be a brief price dip below this level. One way of answering that is what happened after the previous rallies that we had. And I remember this one here, November 30th on 2018. Instant give back, coming back to where it came from. And then this one had a nice little run, but the difference between the start of 2019 rally to the November 30, 2018 rally was this took several days rather than several hours to reach a good high peak. However, the correctionary move gave it all back. Now, granted, there's a lot of times I like this because it's great for buybacks. However, if you know this thing is going to go up at some point, these are levels you just got to say goodbye to at some point. And I think the market has done that. And saying goodbye to the 1,000 and 1,500 Satoshi area, which it was at least you would think. And then this time we went to this high, and I was so amazed and so impressed by how it was holding and staying above this little area before, and then make it a matching high, higher low, matching high, higher low, and then there's your beautiful move. So it's still, it might not, but it still hasn't came back to where it came from, which is like between 4 and like 7,200. Hasn't done that yet. It might not. And within this, there was a signal given yesterday that this thing is going to break down and fill some of this empty space. Maybe go down to 13, 10,000, what have you, and even to single digits, four figures, I should say, to the 6, 7, 8,000, whatever range. Come back to where you come from in this big level of resistance. I'm not counting that as an impossibility the way these altcoins move. In fact, if it has a deep move and that's all it goes down to, I'll be damn happy that that's all it goes down to for multiple reasons. One, for buybacks, and two, for the fact that that's a strong signal for the market. Because technically speaking, I would rather go to 2,000 and back higher than 7,000 and back higher for the buyback spots. But no, I'll be extremely happy if market does what it does. Because even this little bit move here, you had to be fast to catch this move, and I was fast enough to do it. And I didn't get the greatest of price either, because I wasn't quite fast enough, but it wasn't even possible. I was thinking to myself when it happened yesterday. I mean, it was fast. It was fast. As I seen it breaking down, I mean, this was the play. So it was all about getting my LITECOIN for a big trade in for that to sell Theta. So I was pretty much buying in this little range in here. I sold LITECOIN to buy Theta. But that's from like trades long ago. As some ratio levels hit, just like T-Fuel when I sold against the Bitcoin, did the same thing here, pretty much at the same time, pretty much, yeah, within minutes of each other, and pretty much at the tops, 26K here. For this, I don't want to buy back until it's like near 10K. Then if we go back to where we came from, this area here, I'll buy the other half back. And I'll be very happy if I were to never buy that back, in the sense that price action never comes here, which would be great for my portfolio in the sense of the Theta that I have and continue to trade moving forward. Value would be exceptionally well as time moves on. And in conclusion for this, let's go to the silver market. Well, there's really nothing to report. However, I was watching on Mike Maloney's channel that apparently they, as in a bunch of people, are attempting to do a short squeeze on Saturday, the first day of May, or 8 days from now, where they're going to be buying. I guess you buy and ask for delivery of 100 ounces from or more from the COMEX. Whether it'll work or not, I mean, I hope so. But whether it's interesting because just a few weeks ago on silvergoldbull.ca, they had some 100 ounce or 10 ounce bars rather, about 100 or 10 of them for 100 ounces of what's Wall Street short squeeze with for silver short squeeze it says on it, and then a guy holding like a big rocket, as in like to the moon kind of analogy. Really, I was impressed by the design and everything, and if something like that works out, then the value of that coin itself or bar rather could go up really well. As this is a time I think where more and more people are understanding hidden secrets of money, either because they literally watched that particular documentary in the last so many weeks and months and whatnot, or of the like, understanding what fiat currency is, debt-based system, and all of there's so many different dozen of particular facts that could maybe irritate some people. Or it's interesting. Wow, oh wow. I just got an email now stating that my delivery for that those 100 ounces has just been delivered, which is like so awesome. But anyway, I forget what I was saying before I seen my email notice of well, the silver delivery. And I just actually got some earlier this week too. Yeah, getting into the currency fiat system, more and more people understand the hidden secrets of money. That's what I was saying. Or finding information where like and just perturbed about the situation, and then understanding whether they do one of two things, whether they panic and they make investments. What they're probably going to do is get out of their fiat currency, or they don't panic, and meaning they rationalize situations, and they may panic before they unpanic. If you know what I mean, but they go through the situations on a clear level one way or another, and well, they get out of the dollar. Either way, whether they panic or they don't panic, they get out of the dollar because of that info. And that's just info people you can't delete from people for the most part. We're all really. And it's not like people are going to be like, yeah, I learned that, but I still want to hold these US dollars and let the inflationary levels just keep tumbling the value of this. Yeah, let's keep doing that. I just don't see much of that going on. And then I don't think you can go with the fact of like, well, let's just assume you have the percentage 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever it is, at that type of rate. Understanding enough of what a fiat currency is. And then go back to like 2 year lows or whatever. Meaning, let's just hypothetically say 15% of the people are aware when it was five, and we can go back down to five again. No, there's just no way that happens. It's just going to escalate to the point where like everybody knows. And thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.